Mr. Mukundan, as an industry veteran and a thought leader, what is your larger message to the youth who are entering the field, and particularly women? Because it is in this sector that we find that the representation of women is lesser than in some of the other sectors. How do you look at this whole area? And I think as you move up towards the C-suites, the representation of women goes down even further. So in the senior roles, it's even less. What is your larger message to women and youth?
Sure.
Is this male dominance only in India or is it global in the oil industry?
It's generally global. It's more global because it's some of the work conditions are harsh, and some of it is, you know, do you give the flexibility, for women? So I would say I've been a very strong supporter of gender diversity in general. Okay, because I strongly believe in, and I always said two things. I said diversity is the people around the table. But what's more important is inclusion, which is how do I get the thoughts of the people around the table into it. And I agree with you, it's very difficult to manage it because it's not, I just hired 10 women and, we are done. You've got to then nurture it, you've got to work it. There are different reasons and different things, and you've got to be flexible. For example, if a woman's a trailing spouse and you move to another city, you don't say, okay, thank you. You did a great job, nice knowing you. We work towards saying, okay, how do we keep them still and, work back? And I have two examples in my history here where they moved out. One moved to Bangalore, another one moved to Delhi. And we said, no, you're still part of BP. They worked from there, right? And the one from Bangalore actually worked from home because we didn't have an office there. And Delhi, she worked from our office in Delhi. And what is interesting was that gave them the courage. 3 years down the road, they basically told their husbands, I'm moving to Bombay because I've got an opportunity. You better come now with me. And to their credit, the husband said, yeah, I will find something else and I'll come. So, you got to build that, and you got to nurture, and you got to keep giving that opportunity to them to actually grow and build to that level. Because it's every step is that. And you got to be flexible, right? You can't say, you got to be the way, because there are different compulsions. So you got to constantly spend the time and effort to do it. But I think the reward is incredible.
And what about the message to youngsters who want to join BP?
So I'm going to go to this thing. I've got 6 principles that I talk about, and this is my principles in my life when I have worked, which has kind of worked for me. And the first one says, when you strongly believe in something with conviction, you will find the way to do it. You got to be there, and that's what makes it happen. Second one is, every day is going to be different. And don't think any different. You will come on Monday saying, okay, so it's a cool day. Things can change. But no matter how it changes, if you have the conviction, there is the light at the end of the tunnel. And you will always, find a way out of it one way or the other. So that's the second principle. Third one is, never get into your head that one person can do it all. No one person can do it all. And what I've seen is, if you bring together a team which has got different thought process, which has got different, ways of doing, capability, etc., you bring them together, my God, you will see magic happening. And we've seen that. My teams, now I don't even have to say anything, right? They know what needs to be. This whole board visit was handled by people from all across India. And the board members at the end said, my God, you guys are unbelievable. How everything is working like clockwork. So, that's the third thing, no one person. Fourth one I'll say is that treat others the way you want to be treated, with respect and, and also with genuine care. The relationships you will build is incredible when you do that. Next, I would say is, as you grow up the ladder, stay grounded, be humble. Don't get it go. It's only a job, right? Be truthful to yourself, because that's where you will, build the respect, and support from your people. And the last one, I always tell this to everyone: there is no right way of doing the wrong thing. Don't try to find it. Be always act with fairness and integrity, because that is very important. And the day you slip on that, you're down the slippery slope, right? I mean, as long as I always tell everyone, think of it as, am I doing something which is, I'm trying to do there's no right way of doing the wrong thing. So those are the 6 things I tell the youth. And then I tell the youth, don't go by our examples. I always tell them, I don't want to tell you how you should do it, because, when I was in that age, I was a lot more risk taker. I was a lot more, with time, you learn, right? We all have the experiences. It becomes difficult. So I always tell them, don't ask me for advice. You know what you need to do. Do it. Take the risk. You will learn, and, you'll get to the right place.
You also tell them to take less work stress, is it?
Yes.
Because that is becoming a big issue now, the mental well-being.
It is. So our principle at work is, you work hard, but you also party hard, right? I mean, you have to have that balance. And the beauty is, when you have a whole team working together, then people step in. So it's not one person trying to do it. And we try to give that flexibility to people.
You will walk out of the BP headquarters
Monday
evening for one last time.
Yes.
Bittersweet memories. It will be
Oh,
sad,
it'll be very sad. I've lived 43 years, right? I mean, we were doing a calculation. We said that's about 2/3 of my life has been BP. So I don't know what I'll do on Tuesday morning, or go home and say, oh, my calendar is empty.